And if you ride a bike that really feels good, or it really looks good, feels good, rides good, and if it's within your budget, go buy it.
But most bikes these days, they are very comparable to each other. So, you know, why specifically a BMC? Why don't you get a SL6?
Okay, so my decision for a BMC was based off the actual ride feel. So having come off Pinarellos, and I know that you may get a Pinarello to ride on in Thailand. When you ride it, you realize that it's a very harsh ride. The absolute black ones are actually worth the money. So if you don't want as much brake squeal, you want a really good bite and good stopping power basically, with almost zero brake fade on long descents. The absolute black graphene pads actually do the job. So good job on those, not so good job on other things like the oversized pulley. Selle SMP full carbon. I've got that on every single one of my bikes because it just caresses and cradles my ass just perfectly. And some might think that the carbon is really hard, but the way it's designed for your sit bones, it just fits me so well. I would never ever change to another saddle. Got this E-lens technology, and the sensors here at the front. So there's some sensors here. They detect light, so photosensitive. So these are not photochromic, these are LCD lenses. So you can see the line here, LCD. So it's a liquid crystal display lens that actually, so when there's shade in direct sunlight, not this kind of light, it will basically darken. So from Cat 1 to Cat 3 darkness, it has different increments. So and the change is instant. It's absolutely instant. There's no wait time for the lenses to change shade.
Alright, we are rolling. We've got Nathaniel all the way from Perth, but no, he's actually Singaporean. Ex-Singaporean.
Ex-Singaporean, that's right.
Welcome to the Oompa Loompa Cycling Show.
Thank you very much. I've been waiting for this day.
I've seen your vlogs, up and coming YouTuber.
Thank you.
How's that going?
It's still fun. I'm waiting till it comes to your stage or Melvin Tan's stage or Zach's stage, all these different YouTubers, where it becomes a bit of a chore. So it hasn't reached that point yet. It's still fun, but after 2 days in Malaysia, I've got a backlog of about 5 videos. So,
do you enjoy editing? You gotta enjoy the process of YouTube.
Yeah, I do. So I do a lot of video work as well for work, and so the process is really straightforward. I mean, I just slap it all together. If you look at mine, my production level is not as high as yours because I just do it for fun. So.
I do it for fun, but it kind of blown out of proportion, man. It used to be one small little camera. I would travel all of Singapore interviewing people, but now I try to get people to come here.
Yeah, people come here, and I think it's really good. You got a really nice setup here, and I think the quality of the videos have definitely improved a lot since the first one. I was just watching the one with Melvin Tan where you were outdoors on a grassy patch and he's like sitting there on a stool with his legs wide open, you know, it's like, what the heck?
But people like that because it's funny.
It's
all sitting on
very
small
raw.
stools.
It's very raw, yeah.
I have to give credit again to Gary from Weekend Bike Fitter and Shane from the Bicycle Ranch for giving me this place. So I saw you subscribe to my membership, so thank you for that.
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
You got to support, right?
Thank you. Yeah, then I kind of knew that, this guy is doing YouTube content and stuff, and then we had a bit of chat on Discord as well. I have to give shout out to the guy that was watching my videos over at Perth. You did some content, remember?
Hey, this guy, we're in Perth. This is Ed. And guess what? He's a big fan of Oompa Loompa. All right. So what's the favorite video of his that you like?
I can't remember.
You can't remember? Oh, put you on the spot.
Bastian video.
Oh, the Bastion video. Yeah, we were just talking about the Bastion bike. So, Oompa, continue to make nice videos. Shout out to you too, JD. See you guys in Singapore soon. Bye.
And he said he was watching.
Yes, that's right.
What's his name?
Right.
Do you remember? Sorry, put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot.
But that guy.
Yes, that guy sitting down there. And
Yeah.
then we were talking about one particular episode.
Yeah. So to that guy who is watching, thank you so much for
I think his
watching.
name is Chris.
Chris?
Could be wrong. I better go back and check.
He's gonna unsubscribe from your channel, man.
No, he won't. He won't. We ride together once in a while, so.
Yeah. Okay, so you came back from Malaysia.
Yes.
What were you doing there?
I went to Petaling Jaya first for shit.
Cycle Hub.
Yeah, Cycle Hub with Carmen. Carmen, shout out to you. Cycle Hub turned 1 over the weekend. And I went there for the celebration, a birthday ride. 100 plus people showed up. Met them, interviewed them, had so much fun. And then also gave away prizes, including the grand prize, which was a road bike that I sponsored. So yeah, it was good.
Wow, what bike was it?
It was a Polygon S5D.
Wow.
So aluminum road bike, carbon forks, full 105 mechanical group set.
Good on you for sponsoring the bike, man.
Yep. You're welcome.
Did you get another bike in return? Did they sponsor you another bike?
No, they didn't give me a bike, which is sad. But at least I got my bike. So
Yeah,
that's
let's.
all right.
We'll get into that a little bit later. How long have you been cycling?
I've been cycling for the longest time. I started cycling here in Singapore when I was, I think, about 14, 15. But if I really want to say when I started cycling, I think when I was about 4 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, the void deck I think I was living in Yishun, or no, Ang Mo Kio or Yishun that time. Yeah. And Dad bought me a small bike. And I actually remember taking off the training wheels because I was so frustrated I couldn't like corner low enough.
But sometimes I remember the time when I started cycling, my dad had training wheels, and naturally over time, because of you bending it so much, that it just floats up, and then you kind of.
That's true. When you sort of ride, and then when it goes up, you sort of learn how to balance, but there's still that safety aspect. Well, I took it all off, and I learned how to ride that day. And I remember going around all the columns and everything. It was so fun.
Yeah. So when did road bike start for you? Like
road biking
seriously?
started for me seriously it's been at least 10, 11 years. So I think it was around 2011. Yeah, my boss actually got me into it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you needed a promotion.
He was a crazy road rider guy. Shout out to you, Glenn Townend. He got me into riding because he was like that. He was very subtle. Because for those of you guys who know me, when I was 10 years ago, I was fat Nat. I was like 89 kilos. And not proud of it, but if you jump onto my Instagram, you track the link there. It's there. It's not very flattering. But so I was about 89 kilos, and he did not tell me that I was fat. He just said, Nat, you could use some, you could do with some cardio. You could do some bike riding, you know? And he talked about how climbing up the hills in Perth was so fun, and coming down was even more fun. And so he got me into road riding. I went to buy a road bike. My first bike was a giant TCR, black, white, and green, and with Ultegra 10-speed, mechanical. That back then there was no Di2, and I started riding and got hooked. I really got hooked, and I was one of those guys that used to laugh at people who were wearing like Lycra. Yeah. And
now you're in one.
Yeah, and ended up wearing Lycra and loving it, you know. So it's like, okay, got converted.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I got into road riding.
Wow. Okay, so then I'm assuming you saw the results of cycling. You lost a lot of weight.
Oh yeah, I did, man. I did. I saw my pant size like shrinking from I think it was a 38 at my biggest to a size 30.
Wow.
So I'm between 29 and 30. So.
And how do you arrive to this one? What
arrive
other
to this
you have?
bike?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a long journey, man.
Yeah.
So I had let me try to recall, okay? Giant TCR-01. It was 01 or C1, I think. And then from a Giant, I went to a Pinarello Paris for a while. I had it for a while. Then from the Paris, I got hooked on Pinarellos for a while. I went to the F8. and from the F8 to the F10. And then after the F10, I had an F10 for a while, and then I couldn't ride for about 3.5 years. And I just got this late February.
You couldn't ride
Yeah.
for 3.5 years?
Yes.
What happened?
So I got shingles.
Okay.
I got shingles, and a small percentage of people who get shingles have this nerve pain that continues on after shingles. And unfortunately, I had it. And what would happen would be I would be riding my bike, and after riding really, really hard, or while riding really hard, my skin would just start to burn. I think it's from the lactic acid or something, but it would just start to burn. So I would ride. It would burn, but I would just ride through the pain. And then everyone would stop for coffee, you know? We'd stop at the coffee stop, the cafe. Everyone hops off their bikes, parks their bikes. And when I hop off the bike, I'm just standing there like that. I can't move because I'm in pain. And everyone, they'll be sitting down, and I can't sit down because my bum is pain, you know? The skin, it's just like burning sensation, like someone lit a fire underneath your skin. And so for about 3.5 years, I tried to ride on and off, and yeah, I just couldn't.
Did you pick up another sport?
Yes, I picked up bouldering.
Bouldering?
Yeah.
Okay.
So with bouldering, because I think it wasn't cardio, it didn't affect me the same way. So I could do bouldering, top ropes and bouldering.
Are you still doing it now? Or?
Yeah, I do it on occasion,
Okay.
but not as often as before.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then you got the BMC.
Yes.
At what point do you think that, okay, I'm fit to ride already now?
So I was actually selling all my bike gear earlier this year, and there was a guy who came to buy my stuff. I think I sold off a pair of carbon wheels and a few other things like spare helmets and stuff like that. And he was like, "Nat, why are you selling all this gear? It looks really good condition." And I said, "Well, I can't ride. You know, maybe I'm going to sell the bike off." "What's wrong?" He's an Israeli guy who is an ex-pro,
Okay.
ex-pro cyclist. And I told him the story, and he's like, "You know what? My dad is a neurologist in Israel." I said, "Oh, that's cool." And so he talked to his dad, and I got in touch with him, and we started talking. And his dad said, "You know, Nat, why not just ride? And instead of just stopping all of a sudden, because when you suddenly stop, that's where you say all the pain really hits you, start cooling down. So if you use your power, then go zone 1 and zone 2, and then do your ride. And when you finish your ride, instead of stopping, when everyone else stops, take 5 minutes to do zone 2, and then cool down to zone 1, and then just slow down and get off the bike." And so I tried that for a week, and I could ride. I would ride, and then the pain would slowly subside, you know, when I cooled down. And I thought to myself, hey, if this is improving so much so well, then I might as well just really ride. But what motivates you more than just getting a new bike, you know?
Yeah. So you sold off all your bikes and all your gears, and then you came to this.
Yes. So I did not sell all my bikes off. Okay, I sold one bike. I sold the F10.
Okay.
So I still have the F8. My older daughter rides my F8. I have a fixie, a BB17 transfer, and this bike.
Wow. Okay. Everyone would like to know. Maybe tell us what this bike is and why did you get a BMC?
Oh, why they should get a BMC? I wouldn't ask them to buy a BMC.
Oh, okay.
No, I like the bike very much, but I think bikes are very personal. And if you ride a bike that really feels good, it really looks good, feels good, rides good, and if it's within your budget, go buy it.
But most bikes these days, they are very comparable to each other. So, you know, why specifically a BMC? Why don't you get a SL6?
Okay, so my decision for a BMC was based off the actual ride feel. So having come off Pinarellos, and I know that you may get a Pinarello to ride on in Thailand. When you ride it, you realize that it's a very harsh ride. It's really good for sprinting because I used to race and I was a team sprinter, and it was perfect for sprinting. However, it wasn't very compliant. So I'm getting older, and as I'm getting older, I want more comfort, you know. And so when I tried this bike out, I was surprised at how stiff it was, but yet how comfortable it was. It was like super comfortable to the point where I was like, really? It is. It's so comfortable that there are times where I actually look down and I thought I had a flat because the ride is so soft, but yet so stiff. So the power transfer is definitely there, but it just feels so comfortable. And so I went like, I think I could use this bike. I could own it. It's light. It's compliant. It's super stiff. The power transfer. When I was in Malaysia, just the last 2 days, a lot of guys came around because there are hardly any BMCs in Malaysia. And they saw, whoa, haven't I seen this bike? Hardly any BMCs around. Can I try it? And so the bike got molested by about half a dozen guys.
By guys, not females.
Exactly.
Wrong crowd, man.
and they took her and rode her. Had good rides, and all of them came back and said a few things. The thing that was most commonly said was how the power transfer was amazing. The moment you step on the pedal, it just goes. It just goes, and that was the reason why I got this bike. It's stiff. I like to sprint. So if you check my latest video, I did a sprint. Along on the motorcycle path. Oh, that was epic. So good.
You were saying 600 watts.
Yes, held about 600 watts for 1 minute. This is the first time I've actually done that since I stopped. And so it was actually pretty cool. And I felt good. I didn't have any nerve pain or anything. The nerve pain is about 95% gone. Every once in a while, if it's a super hard effort, I still feel some tingling sensations and some pain. But for the most part, it's gone.
Bike fit?
Oh, okay. Bike fit? Yes, I did have a bike fit.
In Australia?
In Australia, a long time ago, when I had the F8.
So do you think the tingling sensation was because of an improper fit on the bike?
No. The tingling I'm talking about is from the shingles.
Oh, shingles, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a BMC SLR-01.
Yes.
The highest tier of the BMC.
That's right.
Is this a all-round climbing bike or is it like an aero? Or aero is a time machine, right?
Yeah, time machine. This is a team machine. And it's an all-rounder. It's all-rounder.
Why didn't you go for an aero bike? What made you go for a team machine?
I decided to become a weight weenie.
How heavy is the bike?
Not super light. 7.15.
Light for a disc brake bike?
Yes, it's light for a disc brake bike.
Yeah.
So 7.15 without the computer, without the light, tail light on, yes, but without the saddlebag as well, and no bottle.
Could you run us through the setup of your bike?
Sure. So the frame size is, do you want the frame size?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember.
48, 49?
I think it's a 47 or 49.
Yeah.
It's small. It's somewhere there, but I can't see it.
Okay. We can do close
47.
up. 47.
It's a 47. I chose this frame a little bit smaller because I like my frame one size smaller. It just feels more stiff and better control. It's got the BMC ICS cockpit, which is really, really nice. As you can see, it's really aero, very sleek. A lot of people actually thought it was like titanium. It's actually carbon. It's also got full Dura-Ace Di2, 12 speed, with the infamous Dura-Ace power meter well, if you watch YouTube enough, you know that it's a hit and miss. I'm very lucky that it's a hit and not a miss. Pedals are also Dura-Ace, so it's a full Dura-Ace all around. I'm using the MT discs because they are, to me, better. Apparently, they don't warp as easily as the road ones. And also absolute black brake pads. Some people think that it's a waste of money, but I tested a few different brake pads. I think it's on my YouTube channel as well. The absolute black ones are actually worth the money. So if you don't want as much brake squeal, you want really good bite and good stopping power, basically, with almost zero brake fade on long descents. The absolute black graphene pads actually do the job. So good job on those. Not so good job on other things like the oversized pulley. The hollow cage. So my saddle is a Selle SMP full carbon. I've got that on every single one of my bikes because it just caresses and cradles my ass just perfectly. And some might think that the carbon is really hard, but the way it's designed for your sit bones, it just fits me so well. I would never ever change to another saddle. I started on a Physique Arione, and slowly moved away from that. Tried a test saddle, and then just went for the carbon one. It was like perfect. Wheel set. My bike did not come with these wheels. So as you can see, the wheels have my YouTube logo on it, the Velographer. Very specially done by Ascent bikes. The bike originally came with the DT Swiss ARC 1100 die cut 50 millimeters with the DT Swiss 180 hubs, and they were really nice wheels. However, when I went online and I saw, I watched some reviews online, especially the one from Peak Talk. I also checked out the specs online, and then I gave QX a call. Incidentally, is he here?
He's here.
Yes, he's
every
here.
time a QX wheel is presented on Oompa Loompa, he'll be here. Just kidding.
I had a chat with him, called him up. We spoke about the wheels, spoke about the concept behind his wheels, and he hasn't paid me to say this. Okay, I'm saying this because I genuinely have experienced this. One of the limiting factors of riding fast, riding hard, and cornering confidently, especially if you like to race, is basically yourself, and it's not so much the equipment. Because if the equipment, for example, when you corner, there's a lot of flex there can be a lot of flex in your wheel, on your frame as well. This wheel was designed around the concept that it inspires the rider to be more confident. And when I heard that, I was like, wow, if that's really true, then I should be able to perform better and go faster. Corner faster, I can dive bomb in, or even just feel better in crosswinds and stuff like that. And so I thought, you know what? Heck, if the reviews are that good, and it was a super wide actually, if you look at it, it's really, really wide. The widest wheel set I've ever owned. And even with the new wheel sets that come out, this one still sits up there as like is a tank. I gave it a try, and when I got them, they not only looked great, felt great. These are DT1 Swiss 180 hubs as well. The front are CX raised and the rear are sprint, so it's a little bit more stiff for sprinting. I tried them and they really inspired me to have more confidence, especially in cornering or going downhill. The stability of the wheel was really second to none. So much so that my DT Swiss, I've got 3 pairs of DT Swiss, the 1100s, 1650s, and the 1400s. They're up for sale. They're up for sale. So if anyone wants to buy, I can always ship them from Australia, or I come to Singapore 4 times a year. Just let me know. Or if Oompa comes down to Australia, he can bring them back for you. So. But yeah, those are actually for sale. That's how good these wheels are, which is why they sit on my bike.
Did you pay for these wheels?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did.
So honest review.
Yes.
That's the honest review.
That's the honest review. And these wheels don't come cheap as well. They're close to 4K.
What do you think of that? I did ask QX in one of the interviews when I did it with him, how do you think your wheels or your product sits with the bigger players? Aren't your prices very close to big brands, and why is that so? And I might as well go for a more branded one, right?
Okay, so we offer a rather unique value proposition in the sense that the way we design our wheels is rider focused. We're not looking at we're looking at factors that actually matter in making your ride more enjoyable, making you faster, making you more confident, right? So when you choose our wheels, you're actually buying into the user experience, okay? And to talk about confidence, right? It also extends into warranty policies. Like when you're racing, the last thing you want to worry about is, what if I crash? What if I break the wheel? I can't afford to get another one. But for us, we got your back, right? And if you know that if you go all out, and let's say you crash, you take out half the peloton with you, right? You're covered. We will cover you.
Can't remember his response. You guys can check that video out. But in your opinion, if you're going to be splurging $4,000 on a set of wheels, it's a Singaporean brand. Why would you want to pay for that?
I know, right? People go like, it's a brand you've never heard of. Why would you do it? Well, I did it mainly because of the concept behind the design of the wheels. the concept of having something built that would inspire confidence in a rider.
So you really feel the difference in terms of having very wide?
I really feel. It's not just the width, but the quality of the wheel itself. So when you're cornering, when you're going fast, right, it's super stable. No wobbles or anything. Even in crosswinds, there's a hill in that's really popular in WA in Perth. And for those of you who've been to Perth, it's the Welsh Pool Road. So it's a Welsh Pool Road climb and also descent. The descent, if you go pedal fast enough, you can hit 100 k's an hour. I personally haven't hit 3 digits yet. I've only gone as fast as 90. I think 95 or 96.
That's fast.
Okay, 95, 96. But when you go down Welsh Pool Road on these wheels, I tell you, you're cruising. It's almost like driving, like when you drive a Japanese car versus a European car. So I used to drive Japanese cars, and then I drove a European car, and I went like, sorry, Japanese cars, I can't go back to you. Because when you're going at the same speed, you're driving up the freeway at about, let's say, 100 k's an hour, okay? Your Japanese car is going, and you're going, like, you can hear all the wind, and well, maybe the newer cars, like the Camrys and stuff, are more stable. But when you're and you feel the speed, okay, you feel the speed. When you're in a luxury car, like a Jaguar, a Mercedes, I drive a Mercedes, and when you're driving at 100 k's an hour, you don't feel the speed. In fact, you feel like you're going like 60, And I think that's a good analogy. With these wheels, when you're going down, you don't feel the speed as much, which means that you feel control. And when that happens, well, it can do two things. One, it can make you stupid and be overconfident and go even faster, and then you die. Or it can just be something that makes you enjoy the ride even more because you're in control. Yeah, so that's why I got these wheels. Yeah, it's a bit of a no-brainer. But if you don't understand the concept behind it, or if you want a big name brand, then no, you wouldn't buy it. Yeah.
QX, this is your new spokesperson for 2023.
Does it mean I get sponsored new wheels?
Okay, are you using? Okay, so these are DD Swiss, right?
Yes, DD Swiss 180s.
I know that he has his new hubs that he's launching.
Yes, he's launched his new hubs. I've had a look at them. I've heard them. Apparently, is it 60-tooth? Yes, 60-tooth ratchet system. I heard it. I tell you, it's the loudest thing ever. I thought these were loud, but when I heard his, I was like, oh my god, that's like super loud. And he was trying to defend himself, so we went for a ride, and we were going for some, was it breakfast or lunch? Or dinner. We went for food, okay? And I was behind him because I didn't know the way. And every time he freewheeled, it was so loud. I was like, dude, what hubs are those, man? It's like, oh, these are the new hubs, 62s, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, damn, they're loud. Then he said, no, yours are louder. I said, no way, man, that's really loud. So 60 engagement points. I think is it a Revolution hub as well? Yeah, Revolution hub. And it looks pretty well made. So it's something that I may try in the future. I haven't tried it yet, but I've heard it.
So I'm building a new bike. Not to say new bike, new frame, and I asked you.
Lab 71.
Hopefully by the time this video is out, the Lab
71. This guy is like printing money.
No, let me justify myself. I sold my Venge at a pretty decent price, and I'm just recycling that money for the new frame.
I just need to check with the wife.
She knows, no worry, full disclosure.
She's smiling. That means she approves. That's good. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. Over the weekend, because I was bikeless, I rented a mountain bike at Unsprung over at Bukit Timah, and then I did a bit of mountain biking. I fell in love with mountain biking. I used to do a bit of cross country.
Mountain biking is so good.
Yeah, so and then I was telling her like, oh, check out this bike that I want to buy secondhand, 3,005. It's a bit of money, but the problem is where I stay to Bukit Timah, it's a bit of a ride, like a 15k ride, and I don't know whether
that's a warm up.
A very long 15k warm up. And I asked her like, okay, can I buy this bike? She's like, yeah, sure. Can you put it outside of the house? We don't have enough space. You have your road bike in the back, and then I'm like, no, there's no way in hell I'm gonna pay 3,000 1,500 and leave it
leave it
outside.
outside, yeah.
And after a while of thinking, maybe when I get my bike, my road bike, I might not do mountain biking as much. It's I can't juggle two different sports. But yeah, maybe in the future if I can find a ride bike. Okay, so that's on the wheels.
Yep.
You said, sorry, this is size 47. What's your height?
My height is 172.
Okay, so you could have gone for the
Larger
bigger one?
frame, yeah, like up to like 51.
Okay, you just wanted a smaller one for agility and
Yes, that's right.
you've
Slightly
got-
longer stem.
right, but you've got some stack on a lot of spaces, man.
Yes, the stack is also because I am preparing for old age.
Oh, okay. Then shouldn't you get a larger frame? It'll be much more comfortable, right? The head tube stack will be already much higher, isn't it?
Not really. So geometry-wise, this is almost the same as the Pinarello that I had, and that one was slammed. So the BMC, how they've designed the geometry, the front end is actually really, really low already. So if I actually slammed it all the way down, it'll be even lower than my Pinarello, which was already slammed.
Okay. And then you have a 12-speed Dura Ace, and you were talking about the power meter.
Yes.
You say it was a hit and miss. Why?
Well, apparently the design is crap. Yeah, I got it basically because it sort of came with the bike.
But so far the power meter readings are accurate?
Yes. So when I said it's a hit and miss and I got a hit, the power meter readings are accurate. I've got Garmin vectors as well, and so compared, and it's good on the small chainring and the big chainring.
Okay. Saddle, you said you just love this, the way it fitted
Oh
you.
yes, man. Yes, no qualms about it. Like I will never ever use another saddle. You can try to take it from me over my dead body.
And what's the price of this bike? How much you pay
price-
for this?
If I add the cost of the wheels and everything, I think it is around 23 Aussie.
Okay. Okay. Any dislikes or things that you would wish was different on the bike or you would upgrade?
Yeah, these bottle cages. BMC have designed them to integrate into the frame, but the problem is that they're not designed super well. So when you put your bottle in and if you're going really hard, sometimes the frame does flex a little bit, and so you get a little bit of creaking. Initially I thought it was my bottom bracket creaking, and I realized it wasn't bottom bracket. It was the bottle cage. Yeah. So bottle cage wise, it looks a bit chunky. It's really light, but it does look chunky. It looks nice as well, but I think it could have been designed better.
Okay. Overall wrap up of the frame, the bike as a whole before I move on to Instagram questions. What's your opinion of the bike?
My opinion of the bike, it's very nimble, very fast, very stiff. It's suited for both climbing, sprinting. So it's a very good all-rounder bike. If you're a roller, this bike will suit you very well. And if you want something that's light and different, because I don't see too many BMCs around, then this would be the bike for you.
Okay. One last thing before I move on to the IG question is your shades. You were telling me
yes.
this is $600.
Yes, you go online, it's about $600.
E-Koi.
Yes, 600 Aussie to be clear.
Why is it 600 Aussie dollars?
Apparently, it's got this E-lens technology, and the sensors here at the front. So there's some sensors here. They detect light, so photosensitive. So these are not photochromic. These are LCD lenses. So you can see the line here, LCD. So it's a liquid crystal display lens that actually. So when there's shade in direct sunlight, not this kind of light, it will basically darken. So from Cat 1 to Cat 3 darkness, it has different increments. So and the change is instant. It's absolutely instant. There's no wait time for the lenses to change shade.
How did you first come to know about this?
I actually saw it on the website and I was quite intrigued.
Right.
E-lens, digital lens, E-lens. What the heck is an E-lens?
Yeah.
And I tried it out, and when I saw it, the thing is, I couldn't find any reviews online. I could not, for the life of me. I went online and there was maybe one review, but it was in like French or something, and I didn't understand. And the guy kept talking, but there was no real demonstration. So I thought, well, if I really want to, then I'll just buy it. So I bought it. It arrived. I put it on, I went out for a ride, and I was like, oh my god, this is actually pretty good.
Is it very dark? Does it get very dark?
Yeah, it gets pretty dark.
Okay.
But at the same time, when there's no light source, it is light enough for me to wear it in early mornings. I wouldn't wear it at night in pitch black. But at dusk or dawn, when it's still sort of when the sky is still like orangey, purplish, I would wear them and they're absolutely fine.
Wow. Okay.
One thing, however, if for those who are watching, if you suffer from epilepsy, I do not recommend these at all because they really flicker instantly. So if you're going under trees which are really patchy, like maple trees, and we got some of those in Australia, or maybe in Singapore, you got tree coverage, foliage covering, and there's spots of light, and the sun's shining through, and you go through it, it's just gonna go pa 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 pa, and you're gonna have a seizure, and then you're gonna die at the side of the road.
So it is really instantaneous.
It really is.
So it's not like photochromic where it's very gradual.
Yeah, it's instantaneous, and so to actually bright dark, it can drive you nuts.
I'll see whether I can get some footage of you doing that later.
Sure.
Maybe we shine some light and see
Yeah,
if we can
definitely.
get some footage. Okay, cool. So running out of time, let's go for some roast and some questions.
Oh, roast.
Okay, the first one. Very slick, but the saddle is dangerously too far forward.
No, it's not really too far forward. So SMP, interestingly enough, bike fitters love it because the rails are longer than usual saddles. The rails are super long, and you can actually move them all the way front, all the way back, and it's actually safe. Mine is put all the way to the front, yes, just because that fits my fit. If you get what I mean, yeah.
On the same topic, why don't you just go for a zero offset seat post?
BMC doesn't have a zero offset seat post to the best of my knowledge. Yeah.
So what's the setback on this? 5 degrees?
I'm not sure. Just that when I bought the bike, I just got the shop to set it up to the same specs of my bike fit.
These are Pirelli tires?
Yes.
Absolute monster bike. How do you find the performance of the Pirelli tires?
Pirelli tires. So I've used the Pirelli tires, like I just got back into riding, okay? So a few months ago. So if you check out my Strava, you see that I only started riding in late March. And the original DT Swiss ARC 1100s came with Pirelli P0s. I tried them, fell in love with them. The rolling resistance and it was just smooth compared to my GP 4000s. Okay,
4000 S2.
That was how long ago I rode.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the 5000s. I had the 4000s with the black chili compound, and the Pirelli just floored me. So I was like, okay, I love it so much. When I get these wheels, I'm gonna swap to the 30mm version of the Pirellis, and so I've got them. I mean, everyone has their own likes and dislikes. I particularly love the Pirelli P0, so yeah, that's why I have them. And if you want to try them because I love them. Yeah.
How wide are the tires?
30mm.
30. Don't you find that's a bit too wide? Like, do you lose power?
I thought it would be wide actually. Lose power, no. I just had a ride yesterday, and I was just mentioning the power sprints up short hills. So I don't know. I think your good friend Zach, Z-Bike Lock guy. So shout out to Zach. Zach kept telling me that he was going to drop me on the climbs, and for what it's worth, he's a very small guy. Yeah. And he is quite strong. But I still beat him. I beat him fair and square up the hills. And yeah, they're wide, but they don't feel sluggish.
What's the tire pressure?
Okay, tire pressure, I've got 65 at the front, 70 at the back.
Do you use some kind of gauge, or why that magic number?
Why the magic number? I went on Silka.
Well, I've heard a few people saying that.
Did the calculation thing. And because it's winter time, the pressure is slightly lower. So it's winter back in Australia, and the roads can be a little bit wet. So wet roads, tire pressure is a little bit lower. I run TPU tubes to the right now ones. And for those of you who've had bad luck with the TPU, I'm sorry, but mine work just fine.
Do you feel that it rolls better?
Oh, it rolls way better.
So you can actually feel it?
Can actually feel it, yes. And I think the best part is that it not only reduces rolling resistance that you can actually feel, you can actually fit like 2 tubes, 2 spares in your saddlebag. Mine's a tiny saddlebag, and I put 2 inside. So
Why aren't you on tubeless?
I've had nightmares with the. I have not had nightmares. I've seen nightmares with all the. What's that stuff you put
Sealant?
in? Sealant, yeah, like sealant flying everywhere and stuff like that. All those nightmare stories. I'm like, I still prefer tubes.
Yeah.
At the side of the road, if I'm gonna have a puncture, I'd rather do it old school, change my tube, and just go.
I'm not going to say anything.
I don't want to have a mess, like after, it just.
Yeah. Why spend $23,000 on a BMC when you can get a Dogma F for that price? Or any other higher end frame? But don't.
As I said, I think bikes are very personal things. And when you ride it and you love it, if it looks the part, feels the part, and you feel good on it as well, I don't really care what other people think. I think that, and this may generate some discussion. Yeah, I think that the cycling community has come to a point where we've actually lost a bit of the essence of cycling, and it's become whose dick is bigger kind of thing, And you ride Dogma F, everyone goes like, whoa, Princeton carbon wheels, whoa, Princeton carbon wheels Singapore edition. I just recently found out about that, like the gold decals with the white thing that's only available in Singapore. I was like, what the heck, seriously? And then so it's become a bit of a status icon, where you roll up to a ride and your FTP is shit. But you ride a nice bike, and everyone goes ooh and ah, and you post nice photos of yourself posing on your bike, everything. Instagrammers like click, oh wow, 1,000 likes. But is that what cycling is really all about, And when I went to Malaysia last 2 days, I realized that, and I may realize it here as well. It's just that I've been immersed in Malaysian cycling for the last 2 days. I realized that in Malaysia, they don't care as much what you ride. It's all about the community. And that was what really, really moved me in the last 2 days. That we ride, for them, we ride just for exercise, to be together. Don't care what you ride. It's what they call a very like kampong spirit, where the community matters more than the stuff. And I thought that was really cool, really cool. And I hope that in Singapore as well, you got a community that doesn't really care what brand. You could spend whatever on, however much money you want, but the focus really is on the community and not shaming other people for, oh, look at that crap bike, oh, B-Twin, oh, don't worry about B-Twin, at least they're in the World Tour next year, like Van Rysel, kind of thing. And just be focused more on the fact that, hey, I'm so glad you're riding, man, let's do TMCR, if you want, you can drop me in your B-Twin, I don't mind, man, we're gonna ride. Yeah, you can shame me, my Dogma is slower than your B-Twin, but you know what, I don't give a shit.
Speaking of B-Twin, one of my followers who is from Indonesia, I think his name is Widodo. I'm sorry if I got his name wrong. He came and joined me for one of my TMCR rides.
Yeah.
He rented a B-Twin.
I saw that video.
Yeah, on my members' content. Yeah, he rented a B-Twin and he brought his Axioma power meter. He brought his shoes. He was in like either PNS or a MAP jersey, fully kitted out in the freaking B-Twin, and he was like smashing all of us, and we were laughing, right? Because we were saying like, dude, this guy is on a cheap bike, but his pedals are worth so much more than the bike itself.
Pedals are worth more than the bike,
and the way he changes the gears are on the tubes, on the tube, down tube, and it's like, oh my goodness. And he's like, yeah, so it's really the rider, right? But do you believe that the frame of the bike obviously will give you a certain extra power? You don't have to power it so much. Probably the guy Widodo who's on that B-Twin is like really sweating it all out just to keep up with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe that you get what you pay for. So if you got the money to spend on a nice bike, by all means go and spend, but don't shame others for it, because when you spend on it, the engineering that goes into the carbon layout will define how stiff your bike is, how comfortable your bike is, the money you spend on your group set. Dura Ace and Ultegra, very, very close in terms of shifting performance, because all of them have very much similar technology. But the Dura Ace, I think, just has that little bit of edge. And if you want to save some weight, yeah, of course you go for Dura Ace as well. Wheels make so much of a difference as well. There's a huge difference between buying an expensive, well-built wheel set and a cheap Chinese carbon wheel set, And when you ride it, you can feel it. It's just like cars, you know, you get what you pay for, or a house. When you build it, you get what you pay for. You know, people don't cut corners; they go all in, give you the ultimate, give you the best, basically. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. The next question from my buddy.
Your buddy.
I interviewed him some time ago. Is the bike better than your previous bikes? I would say the answer is yes, based on our discussion. And BMC in KL, they are dumping their price. Maybe he should get one.
Oh wow, are they dumping the price?
According to him, I guess.
Dude, send me a DM to my Instagram. I'd love to have a check out what the prices are.
Do you think BMC bikes retain its value in the secondhand market?
I don't know. And I actually don't really care. Because at the end of the day, everything will depreciate. I know some people will care, like just how I understand in Singapore, you know, you buy a car and after 3 years you sell it because that's like the most you get back until the price really plummets. And if you're a person who really is worried about resale value because you want to switch bikes every now and then I would say do some research, because I don't think BMC will hold as much value as, let's say, a Pinarello.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Last two questions. The next one, Ascent bottom bracket.
Oh,
it's a new one.
I've got it in here.
Yeah. So tell us about the Ascent bottom bracket.
Well, I can tell you that it's really, really well made. I held it in my hands, had a look through. The NTN bearings are super smooth. It's in my bike. I have to be very honest. I don't feel a difference yet, because as this bike is, the frame already is super stiff, and usually a single piece bottom bracket would be very beneficial for a frame that is not as stiff, where the frame sort of moves a bit in the bottom bracket, because they're usually two different cups. It's not a single piece. You have some slight movement and you lose power there, and you can also feel the flex. So it helps with the stiffness. Whereas for frames that you buy that are expensive, top tier frames, like your Lab 71 is going to come, you won't actually need a single piece bottom bracket. I think for me, it's like extra bling there. I believe that, or rather, I would like to believe that performance-wise it's way better than the cheapo plastic Shimano bracket that we took out. But when I saw it and went in, it looked amazing.
What BB standard is this?
PF30.
Okay. So what was the previous bottom bracket that was on here?
It was a Shimano standard PF30.
The standard one?
Yeah.
And you don't feel the difference? Like, I mean, I was on that Shimano BB and I changed it with bearings. It felt very smooth.
I'm sure it's smooth, but I can't feel the difference yet. Okay. When I finally feel the difference, then I will shout out. QX, that's yeah, he's here, but I'm basically saying, I don't feel the difference, because that's the truth.
I appreciate the honesty.
Not everyone needs one.
Not everyone needs one. That's it.
Okay. And to the point of your point on the single piece bottom bracket, I mentioned it in some of my videos before. Why I got the what was the brand? What's the brand that changed? Maybe Infinite. Why I got that single piece bottom bracket was because on my bench it was creaking, and someone told me that you could solve this by getting a single piece BB, which it did. And and I think the biggest investment that one can make, besides the wheels, are also the bottom bracket. Like if it's smooth, right, you can really feel it, but after a while your body kind of gets accustomed to it, and then you don't really feel it. You might feel it for the first 100, 200 Ks, and after that you get used to it.
You get used to it. Yeah, that's it.
Last question, our friend Mr. Marco.
Oh, Marco,
who also runs a YouTube channel. Do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, ask your question, man.
So you will have your previous wheels, right? Not trying to show shit, but your previous wheels compared to your current ones, what's the good and the bad of both?
Okay, the good and the bad of both. That's a really good question. So the previous wheel set that was on was the DT Swiss 1100 ARC die cut 50 mils. That wheel set was aero. That wheel set was stable as well. And that wheel set also has the same hubs. Okay, but the spokes were different. I can't remember. I don't know what spokes on the DT Swiss wheels, but I do know that it's not the same as these, because these were hand-selected, hand-picked after discussion with QX. And these wheels are a lot stiffer. They don't flex as much as the DT Swiss. So with the DT Swiss, when I sprinted, right, you could actually feel the flex. You can actually feel the flex. To the point where you could also hear the discs rubbing. And for those of you who ride disc brakes and you sprint, or when you're going up a really, really tough climb and you're pulling the bike left and right, you can actually hear the brake rub, and it's really demoralizing because it goes
Yeah.
Then you're like, I'm going so slow, and you can't go down to the front and release that catch so your calipers open up, But with these, I don't get that at all, and nothing else has changed except for the wheel set. The discs were carried over. Also, when it's the comfort, so the comfort level has increased a lot, and I think that's to do with the width of the rim, and also and the tire width with the lower pressure too. That said, I accidentally ran my DT Swiss wheels at 30 psi by accident.
Why was it an accident?
Because I did the stupid pinch. I went for a ride. I was gonna go for a ride. I pinched like, yeah, it feels okay, and then go out, And when I came back, home, I washed the bike and everything. I thought, I just wonder what the tire pressure is, So those car tire pressure thing similar to that, but for the bike. Put it in, it's like 30 psi. I was like, what the heck, Then pumped it up. Sorry for digressing. So the difference is, the good about the Ascent Polaris wheels, they're built like a tank. I've done bunny hops on it. I've jumped off curbs and everything, and they feel like they will not break at all. Plus, they've got a lifetime crash replacement warranty, which DT Swiss doesn't have, which means I can go and bash these wheels forever, then knock on QX's door, get, your wheels just failed, I need a new pair. But essentially, I think those are the pros and cons. Does that answer your question, Marco? Cool.
Yeah. He's going to come onto my show next.
Oh, sick.
So make sure you roast him back if you're unhappy with that question.
What bike do you ride again? Seca. I'm going to roast him with the bloody seat post.
Yeah, so Marco has his own YouTube channel as well, so you guys can check it out.
I'll be like, Marco, is it because you put too much lube? Did you put Durex lube on your surface? That's why it's slipping.
This is a family-rated show.
Okay, sorry, let's keep it PG.
Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Anything else you would like to free airtime for you?
Free airtime for me.
Yeah.
Well, with this bit, I just say continue to support the Oompa Loompa channel. Your channel is has some of the best content out there.
Thank you.
And I know that after having watched so many different channels, I really respect what you've done. You've brought a community together on the Discord as well. Well, a lot of people talk crap, and you know who talks crap. A lot of people add value as well. But I think most importantly, you've brought a community of like-minded people together. Your night rides on TMCR and everything, they're fun to watch, Now, for those of you who haven't signed up for membership, it's only $3, man. $3. I can't even buy a meal in Australia for $3. Like, I was here and I was already floored by the fact that you can get $4 noodles.
Yeah.
$4 noodles, a whole meal. And this costs less than a meal. So $3, help the guy out. And not just help the guy out, you actually get lots of value back with all the different rides. And you get to see his face. You get to see his face.
So what people do is they pay $3, see his face, okay, screenshot, go home, leak everything.
Guys, don't do that. Don't leak. Don't be arses. But yeah, support, because some of the stuff that he puts up on the members only is really raw and real. For example, like, you hardly see YouTubers jump online and say, "Oh, I got dropped." It's like, "Oh, I told them to give me a chance." That's literally one of the titles of those videos, Yeah. And like, how many people does it take to change a tube and stuff like that, It's really fun. It's really raw. It's really real. And if you want real content that's not dolled up with just to look good for views, then Oompa's got the exact thing. And I think we need more of that kind of content. So with that, I would say subscribe to his channel, pay the freaking $3 for membership. It costs less than a bloody butyl tube or your sealant, okay? Like, if you buy the graphene oil, is it? is it the grip,
Yeah.
the UFO?
UFO.
Or the other one by Absolute Black. That costs so much. You know how many times you could subscribe to his channel? So yeah, just do that. And if you want to check out my content as well, jump on my channel and just support, where I take you guys along with me on my rides as well around Perth, Western Australia, and also a few cool techie stuff. I'm expecting Marco to do a review of those tubes that are inner tubes that I just got from Malaysia. They were given for free. And yeah.
Nat, thank you so much for the very nice words.
Oh, that's all the truth,
my face is very red right now behind the mask, but yes, thank you so much.
Your face still looks very black.
Thank you so much. And of course, I have to thank all the guests who are appearing on my show, because if it's not for you guys, I would have no content. So thank you, everyone. And to those who are watching and subscribe. So, round of applause for Nat. Thank you so much. All right, we're done, man. Thanks, man. Thanks.